Good evening and welcome back to Underrail. Last time we found a submarine and we're getting ready to go down to Abyssal Station Zero. And at this point, we are ready to go. Ferryman brought it to where we needed it to be. Oh, did it? Okay, and that just got updated. So now we are headed down. Main controls, dive. Verifying coordinates, done. Performing thruster capability test, passed. Pinging sub-nav units, 0 units responded. Obtaining gyro compass information, done. Plotting course, done. Vessel is ready to dive to Abyssal Station Zero, CC 020-476-118-263-2115. Dive. You glimpse faint, gloomy shapes of sunken vessels and debris around you before descending into darkness. The walls are getting closer. You're descending into a gorge of some kind. What was that? You see a blue light on one of the walls, a beacon. Then the space around you expands again. Ruh-roh. I didn't realize we were playing Iron Lung. Don't fall apart, damn it. You see another beacon. Come on. Another beacon. The station must be close. Oh? Yay! We are 1,437 meters below the surface of the Black Sea. Gain 2 experience. So now all that's left is find the acorn and taking care of Abyssal Station Zero as per the professor's desires. A liquid oxygen tank with a few cryo canisters next to it. They all appear to be powered and functional, maintaining the low temperature necessary for oxygen to remain in liquid form. Speaking of, we are at 51 out of 64. It reads on the side elevator control console. It is, however, out of order. It is not responding. Grab ladder. Corpse. Take the batteries for sure. Nice. Oh wait, hold up. That was a pretty high quality frequency emitter, so I'll take that. If I could artificially do that, which if we had some snort powder we could, I could open that, but it's fine. Firefight. Static. Reach through the grates. Hey, grenade. Your nutrient bars. It's dead. There's a gaping hole in its chest, apparently made by a plasma projectile. Welcome, P. Bridges. Unable to connect to ASIN. Only local data is available. Cargo traffic log. Sorted by priority. Acorn, baby. In the Research and Development Dome. Summon available strongmen. No available strongmen detected. Your request has been placed in a queue. Contact Active Security Supervisor. No Active Security Supervisors detected. There may be a temporary communication problem preventing this. Please try again later. So far, nothing out of the ordinary for a Lemurian facility. Well, I definitely hear and saw somebody shoot up pill bottle. An empty bottle of, septihydroxydimenostatin, a potent antidepressant. Someone was in a hurry to get to those pills worth 2 oddity points. And there it goes again. Broken motion picture frame, a small hand-sized animated picture frame. It is heavily damaged, with one side being completely dark and the other notably distorted and its animation frozen, all of which gives the people still depicted an unnerving appearance as they stare at the missing half, worth 2 oddity points. Huh? There we go. I'll get to Mr. Jogger in a minute. Empty tool bracer. Through its transparent cover, you see slots for various tools, none of which are present. These tools are stored around the user's forearm and could be rotated until reaching an opening at the interior side. From here, they are likely inserted into or even extracted from the hand. Unfortunately, this neat-looking device doesn't appear to be functional anymore. Depicts 2 blueprints side by side, one for handmaids, the other for strongmen. Certain components are highlighted on both sides, and their properties displayed, presumably for comparison. Where? Where is the plasma cell? There we go. An odor of pungent, sour sweetness mixed with sweat permeates the air. The ventilation units appear to be out of order. Name here has been etched into the wall in shaky letters. MIK slash... No, that's not a slash, that's the, that Nordic-looking A. Mikkel. Child's drawing. It's a piece of e-paper containing a shaky drawing of Lemuria. Buildings, people, servants, horned animals, crimson meadows. It's all there underneath a towering blue light. Worth 2 oddity points. And caught you. He observes you with caution, panting heavily while at the same time trying to be as still as possible. He takes his time with his greeting. Hi. Hi. Takes him some more time to respond. Hi. Who are you? He pauses. Todd. My name is Todd. He pauses yet again. Todd Newman. He thinks about his follow-up. Nice to meet you, mister. Is there anyone else down here, Todd? Down. He looks down. No one here. No one. Here, there are 2 families living here. The Newmans and the Oivinders. Without warning, his tenor voice turns into a high-pitched, hoarse falsetto. Todd, who are you talking to? Then it drops into a bassy rumble. By the depths, what is all this commotion? He pauses. Who is this person? Who is this person, boy? Tenor. Oh, mother. Father, this is, outsider. He came from the outside? Is it from the outside? Speak. It's a man. Leave it. Shelley. A woman wouldn't make a difference anyway. The boy's useless. Angus, don't draw attention to it in front of the visitor. Who gives a damn, woman? If only... only we had more children, Shelley. Many children. Then we could afford a failure or 2. Mother, father, not in front of Mr. Outsider, please. Why? He sniffs. Why do you always have to be mean to me? Why? Shut up, you sniveling idiot. Shut up. Can I say something? No. Listen to me. You stop talking to this person this instant, and return to your exercise. You got that, boy? You got that? You listen to your father now, Todd. And don't forget to eat the nutrient bars I prepared for you. He... Through tears. Yes, mother. Father. Clears his throat, clearly hurt by the insane acrobatics his vocal cords have endured. I'm... sorry, mister. I have to go exercise. Wait. Why do you have to exercise? He jogs away. So we'll have to come back to that. Another luxury item. Hope you brought plenty of batteries. No. Well, looks like he's taking it easy now. You find him sitting on the bench, wiping his forehead with the absorbent patch on his sleeve. Then, with gleaming eyes, he opens an unlabeled institutional-size can and begins scooping some of the dark paste from it. Its smell is sweet and sour, and distance-keepingly pungent, but he seems to be reveling in the stuff. May I speak to your parents? He responds hesitantly. I'll ask. He closes his eyes, and the first moments pass in silence. A few twitches ripple across his face, but then he smiles. You wait a while longer until he opens his eyes. They're with the Ovenders, but they say you can join them, Mr. Outsider. Lead the way then, or however you want to do this. You wait a few more moments before a voice addresses you. Baritone. Ah, Mr. Outsider. You are the visitor the Newmans have been telling us about. Gentle falsetto. Yes, the one the Newmans have been telling us about. Actually, my name's Bacon. The kid got carried away. Actually, you know what? Yeah, Mr. Outsider. Yeah, and you are? Stig Ovinder. Asta Ovinder. Our daughter Sineva couldn't be present. Ah, yes, and we're Shelley and Angus Newman. Welcome, and we apologize about what you heard during our first encounter, Mr. Outsider. Yes, we're sorry if the boy did something embarrassing. He's an imbecile. Angus! Forgive our son, Mr. Outsider. He's been doing plenty of exercise lately. We all make mistakes when tired. Isn't that right, Angus? Isn't that right? Where are you from exactly, Bacon? Wait, I didn't correct you, though. I found a loophole, Stig. Let's see. We'll just say South Underrail. All voices answer as simultaneously as Todd's vocal apparatus allows. Interesting. Underrail? Never heard of such a place. Oh. Oh, do tell us more about the outside. Sure, but first, how much do you actually know about the outside? What's there to know, Mr. Outsider? It's nothing but filthy water. Presumably our guest is wondering if we know about what's above all of that water, beyond what we can see through our windows or have been told by our grandparents. Well... Wait, you don't have any pictures or any kind of data from the past? Not as much as we'd like. A long time ago, there was a great energy emission that wiped out almost all of the data from the central database. Documents, pictures, video files. Barely anything survived. Barely. So we rely on the bits that survived the Great War, the aforementioned emission, the disunion, and everything up till now. We rely on those and artistic renditions of what things might be like outside. Well, what do you imagine the outside? How do you imagine the outside then? I like to think all this water is in a large room. A room so large you could spread your arms and run around and not bump into anything. There's a tower in the middle, a tower with a blue light at the top. I saw that in a painting. Well, maybe Biocore destroyed it, but then again, maybe they didn't. Biocore destroys everything. I don't know. My father told me there's no ceiling above the water, but just one big empty. What would you see when you look up? Or what would you see when you look up? Nothing. All black, I think. Some people were talking about... Yeah, I remember it clearly. They were talking about there being a big natural light up there. Dome-sized, even bigger. That ought to be the light on the tower Shelley mentioned. It ought to be. We all know from experience that if you want light, you have to make a light source. Light doesn't just shine out of nothing. With that, I can agree. I just realized we never actually discussed anything like this before. How exciting. Asta, what do you think is up there? Almost everything is water, and on the water there are stations. Some are under the water, but most are above. Your people like stations above water, while we, sub-islanders, like stations under the water. It explains the physiological differences between our two people. Besides, we know that sub-islanders came from Atlantis to Lemuria many years ago before moving here. It does make sense. As for the question of how do we imagine the world above, there is some land there, we know that. Islands. These bits of land are called islands. There are stations there, too. In general, people live in stations. It's warm, safe from whatever creatures live outside. It has to be cold outside. I can't imagine the size of heaters it would take to warm up that kind of space. It's probably unsanitary. Ugh, she shivers. I never let Todd touch anything unclean. He catches all sorts of things, but he's a good boy, and he listens when I tell him to wash his hands or take a bath. You're overreacting, Shelley. It's his immunity. Do you want him to get ill, Angus? Do you? Mr. Outsider, how about you tell us what it's really like outside? Oh, yes, please. Up there. Silently wait for your response. So the closest one would probably be 3. There is a large doming cavern above the sea. There's also plenty of land. The land is populated by various groups of people, fighting each other all the time. Soldiers, pirates, savages. Savages. Fascinating. Oh my. They stare at each other in silence, processing what you've described to them until one of them speaks. By the depths, that's unimaginable. Life is so dangerous outside. I can't imagine how unclean it must be. The Oivenders remain silent, looking at each other from time to time. Oh, I'd like to see the outside. Then she looks around. But it's safer here. Much safer and cleaner. Now everyone is silent and completely lost in their imagination. I have questions about the station itself. Anything specific in mind? Would you like to know about the other domes? What other domes are there? Well, there is docking by the cafeteria, which is where you came from, I suspect. Then there are manufacturing, residential 1, this one, residential 2, food processing, aquaponics, power, and finally, research and development. Yes, research and development. Alright, what about research and development? That would be the western exit, but it's locked. It is locked. No one goes there, and no one should go to that dome. Curse it to depths. I say, let's talk about other domes instead. All for our lovely guest. Manufacturing dome. It's the largest dome, easily 3 times larger than docking. There's so much space above your head. He smiles. So much you could stand on someone's shoulders and still have room above, but it was sealed off after a fire many years ago. Back then, I was a boy. In those days we could still produce things with the machines that survived the disunion. By the depths it was glorious. A network of assembly lines and Autobots, which my father told me back in his grandfather's day, processed materials brought in by sublifters from mining outposts and produced everything we needed, From simple #1 screws to strongmen and sublifters. Now, we have nothing. Nothing. About docking. You came from there, right? Via submarine or subsphere, right? It is, after all, the station's only connection to the outside, the place where our ancestors arrived to their future home after being driven out by their former ones by Biocore, where the war for them ended. And the same place where yet another war ended. Yes. Anyway, Mr. Outsider, the dock hasn't been used since those days, until you arrived, if you did come that way. Residential 1. Oh, whoops. Why, you're in it right now. This is where we live, all of us. The oil vendors have their own room, Angus and I have our own, and Todd of Senna have their own. Spend nearly all our time here. I work at the doctor's office. Mr. Newman has his workshop. And my wife works here as well. I work here as well. I spend half of my time at the food processing dome, but the rest I spend here. There's not much to do elsewhere. Most of the fighting took place here during the disunion, you know. The cafeteria was where... Oh, I can't. Please forgive me. I don't know why I even started. My shop. What about Dome 2? It's a dome east of here, similar to this one. It leads to food processing and aquaponics. It was slowly abandoned following the disunion as there weren't many people left at the station. All that free space, but after the boy messed up with the aquaponics, we don't let him go there anymore. Angus? It was difficult to maintain and the walls have corroded, and the smell and the filth. We only used the main hallway anyway. I'd never lived there. Never, ever. And that, incident, it could have happened to anyone. Like that fire in manufacturing. It was an accident. Damn it, woman, have you forgotten? The fire was started by a maniac who wanted to kill himself. Damned he be to the bottom of the abyss. He killed my father. Angus, Shelley, calm down, please. Yes, Angus, control yourself. We have a guest. What about food processing? Well, food processing and aquaponics are, two sections of a single dome, yes. Think of it that way. It's where I work. The aquaponics is a wonderful self-contained, automated system which unifies breeding aquatic life with glowing plants. All for our nourishment. And all of this is processed at the other part of the dome, and that is my job. I make sure what we're eating is up to the highest standards. Ahem. And the boy sent it all to the depths, single-handedly. No, he didn't send anything to the depths. I asked him to keep an eye out for the leak while you were busy repairing the door to our room. You remember, don't you? And he flooded the whole damn dome. The pipe burst. Must you be so difficult, woman? The boy was tampering with the pressure controls on your console to fix the leak. Then he started turning the valves to fix what he fixed, the uncoordinated idiot. Then he super taped what he fixed by playing with the valves, and then it all went to the depths. You remember that, Shelley, don't you? Angus, Angus, Angus! My son is not a lunatic roaming around the station sabotaging everything. If he was there, it was because I needed his help. He did what you said, but he had to because you weren't there. Now, I don't want to talk about this anymore. You're embarrassing us in front of everyone. Stop it. Don't you care? We have enough food to last us a long time. We'll pump the water out and restore the dome and forget about all of this. She turns to you. Please forgive us for this digression. What about the power dome? That would be the southern exit, but it's sealed. Power generators are there. Scratches his chin. There's no way to repair them if they malfunction. No more spare parts. The last one who knew how to service them was Shelley's old man. But they do work. Well, still. That's why we don't want the boy going there. Substation units allow us to monitor and control the power levels. But the hydrothermal generators themselves are made to last. I'd like to ask about something else. Mr. Outsider, excuse me, but why are you here exactly, if you understand? I came to see if anyone was still alive. Well, as you can see, there's plenty of life here. Not as much as it used to, but we're here. We're here. And what do you intend to do next? Are more outsiders going to come here? Oh, I'd have to clean up the dome. What about us? Hmm. I would want to. I'd want to take you with me. You mean outside? Mr. Outsider, we cannot leave this station. It's difficult to explain. Hmm. Too late. But our children, you see, Todd and Senna, problems here. I mean, it's a different world outside, but maybe. Ah. Todd's facial expression no longer corresponds to a single character, and he falls silent. This lasts for a few moments as his stare slowly drops down. Yes, we'll discuss this later. Where were we? Just wanted to ask you some general questions. Oh, certainly, Mr. Outsider. I want to know more about you. Well, we'll go first if the Olivanders don't mind. Where to start? We're descended from the Lemurians, which obviously found their refuge here. Refuge from Biocore. He utters it with undiluted hatred, clenching his fists and scowling in the process. Yeah. The Newmans were reputable architects, you see. They were the ones who designed Lemuria, and Theodore Newman was the last technology minister. A powerful man who surely would have become prime minister if things hadn't turned out the way they did. Meanwhile, I'm a direct descendant of the great composer Kurt Reilich. Yes, although there weren't many family names left anymore. My father used to say, make sons unless you want your last name extinct. He laughs basily. Basily? But then his spirit wanes as his predicament comes into mental foreground. Fate which befell most sub-islanders. Most of our family names were lost due to old family name inheritance laws. Completely lost. Yes, but our family name has survived to this day, and so did yours. To this day. Are you really the only ones here? No servants to help you? Our two families are the only ones here. The only ones? Most servants were destroyed during the disunion, and we had no means of replacing certain components for the ones that remained operational. I do manage to activate a strong man from time to time, and when need be, but they don't last very long, and I have to mix and match working components between them. Yes, we used to have a modded handmaiden, Maud. She had some strongman parts, but only interior. She acted as a nanny of sorts for Todd and Senna, you see, when they were little. Just watched over them and did simple tasks. Maud. The old gal is still around, but I had to deactivate her after she, malfunctioned. Oh, don't mind me, Angus, don't. Todd couldn't sleep for a week. See, Mr. Outsider, strongman power is similar yet different to the handmaid. Angus, do not bring us back to that unpleasant moment, especially not in front of our guest. Who exactly are the sub-islanders? We are. That would be us, the Oivinders. We're the last of our people in Lemuria, me and my wife, and our daughter, Sineva. Senna, sweet, sweet child, our daughter-in-law. Appearing as though he wants to say something else, but he changed his mind instead. The sub-islanders came to Lemuria way before the Great War, and we've been together since. Yes, our numbers were modest in the beginning when we came from Atlantis, a station that is said to be in a place called the North, in the direction of the docking dome, but way beyond it. Why'd the sub-islanders come here? People were adapted to the living conditions the native Lemurians were not. The conditions you witness here. We don't need much room, much light, much movement. The station was built with us in mind. It is much like Atlantis, the senior sub-islanders used to say. Sub-islanders were perfect for working here and helping the Lemurian community. We performed mining duties, technological research, and along the way maintained our culture. What survived the integration, that is. We did live separately from the native Lemurians until the Great War, though. Then, many years later, the disunion happened. We greatly admire the sub-islander language, yes. Isn't that so, Angus? Oh, and I have to add that I've always envied Asta for her beautiful name. It sounds so open and bright. It's the two A's, one at the beginning and the other at the end. Neva sounds gorgeous as well. Thank you, Shally. Everyone falls silent as discomfort in the air turns thick. Tell me about the disunion. It's a separation of our two peoples. Unfortunately, a violent one. After the Great War, the most prominent native Lemurians arrived to Abyssal Station. Most ministers, their families, and everyone else who had been selected. All was well at the start. Falcor never found this location, and the natives integrated into the sub-islander population well. Sub-islander population. No segregation, and the two peoples lived together, room to room. There was one place where the natives didn't fit in. Research and Development Dome had two sections. General Laboratories section and the Special Laboratories section. Special laboratories performed highly advanced and specialized research and were composed of respected Atlantean researchers who preferred working their own way and didn't like the outsiders. Some of these were my great-grandparents, and everything I'm telling you now was passed down through the generations. That bloody lab, to the depths with it. Angus, do not interject. It's bad manners. It didn't take long before arguments over the administration of the special laboratories and the direction of its research made all native scientists leave. As years went by, this spread to the general laboratories as well. One can say these were the earliest signs of tensions between the sub-islanders and the natives. And as years went by, two peoples could coexist less and less. The medical problems of the native Lemurians suffered from by being incapable of living in confinement at the station, the resources necessary for medication, special accommodation, and later even artificial means of reproduction, became a growing problem. The condition itself, and this was seen as weakness in the eyes of the proud Atlantean sub-islanders, an obstacle to their and the station's future. Weakness. Most of these sentiments originated in the R&D Dome. There were disagreements even among the sub-islanders themselves. Some felt that the researchers took on views far too strange and in some ways unreal. Their behavior changed as well. Their families, who lived in the residential domes, spoke, worried about their beloved ones returning after days, weeks of absence to them, with obsessions regarding our ancient sub-islander culture, about going outside, the future, and the past. The hatred toward the natives' sickness. That is, while they were still returning. Trembling voice. I don't even want to imagine it. There was a moment in time when no one left the dome. All who went there stayed there. Thus the station was in a state of fear, and security was on high alert. Then, about a century ago, it happened. The gates to R&D opened, and armed sub-islanders, disunionists, started pouring out, dressed in clothes described only as horrifying. They spoke in our old sub-islander language. My grandfather, a sub-islander historian, told me so himself, and he awarded this language the epithet, bastardized. The cafeteria was where the largest battle happened. These madmen wanted to kill everyone. Everyone. This dome, it was a massacre. The disunionists killed their own family members who refused to join them, the ones they could reach. Those who survived managed to lock themselves in and defend the second residential dome and the one beyond, food and processing and aquaponics. Power Dome remained sealed as well. The disunionists left for the outside through docking. They took the pre-war subspheres. They left corpses and desolation behind them. About 20 or so survivors, mostly native Lemurian, and about 3 disjointed sub-islander families which would later all merge into Oivinders. There was, of course, some unfriendliness at that time, and some regrettable things were done, but we all got along well after that. Yes, yes. It's horrible, isn't it? Us. We were all born way, way after that. And we have nothing against sub-islanders, but our grandparents, they lived through it. They remembered it. There were beatings, murder, suicides. Angus, please, let's not go into the details. It's all in the past. Please. But it's the damn truth. The disunionists destroyed the things we needed to stay. Angus, enough, enough, enough. We better end it here. It is a difficult subject for all. Yes, yes, if it weren't for our guests. Oh well, Yes, how about we talk about something more jolly? Yes, what do you all say? Do you know anything about this thing they called the acorn? Spelled A-C-O-R-N-R? Acorn. No. What is it? All I know is that it's a pre-war technology that's somehow connected to certain machines capable of traversing great distances, even reaching the surface. That's beyond outside. Surface? High technology? Angus? I don't know anything about it, child. By the depths, if it's important, and if it's here, it has to be at the Research and Development Dome. That's where all important technology was brought during the Great War. My ancestors were researchers in the Dome, but I've never been told anything about this acorn. It could have been taken during the disunion. It is possible. Or it might just have been forgotten. How did Lemuria get its name? All at once, it's, silence. Well, you see, by the depths, that's a tricky one. I think Lemuria means a lost land. Maybe our ancestors rediscovered whatever it is up there which had been lost in the past. I think it actually means sunken land. It makes more sense seeing that we live underwater. From my understanding, it is in fact a land or island bridge. You must remember, Shelley, that life wasn't always submarine. The bridge could be a symbolic bridge between native Lemurians' old and new life here. I think there is a kind of fish or crustacean called lemur. These either lived here when your ancestors first came, or were named so because they were bred by the Lemurians themselves. All at once. Makes sense. Could be. Ultimately, its meaning could be anything from the ancient times and lost along the way, like many other things. I'd like to talk to you about Todd. What'd he screw up now? Angus, please, don't jump to conclusions, dear. I'm sure it's nothing of the sort. Mr. Outsider, what did you want to talk to us about? Todd seems to be exercising a lot. Todd suffers from numerous health problems, both physiological and psychological. Life here, it's truly difficult. Yes, but the worst of all, Todd has fertility problems. With a slightly wavering voice, the voice, useless. There's still hope for him and Senna to have a child, but it all depends on him. I've treated Todd for years. There's only so much I can do. No hope. Does Todd have a microchip in his hand? Yes, of course. We all do. Yes, about the microchip. You haven't seen the boy use it to open the gates leading to the R&D dome, did you? He's forbidden from even looking at it. If you have, tell us. Tell us and I'll... You... You have no faith in our son. He screws up everything. You have no patience with him. I wouldn't need patience if you'd let me raise him like my father raised me. Well, look how that turned out. Mr. Outsider, pardon our digression, you were saying? Can you let Todd unlock the gate to R&D for me? All four at once? If the boy unlocks it now, what's next? He'll go there and screw something up, flood the station. There could be germs there, viruses, he could get sick, or if he follows you, hurt himself. New, unknown places are likely to cause him stress. Plenty of stress. What you see in Todd's face seems to represent everyone looking at each other. Their verdict, a silent yet resounding no. Shelley? Yes, Mr. Outsider? Don't you think you may be a bit too protective of Todd? I beg to differ. I'm as protective as a mother should be. It's my duty. Todd is a perfectly capable young man, but there will always be things where mother knows best, and mistakes happen. Mistakes happen, like in aquaponics. There are many ways he could hurt himself, and he needs to eat well. And why should he worry about it if his mother is an elementary technician? It's my expertise. I can prepare everything for him, and... She sighs, then pauses, then sighs again. No matter how old he is, he's, to me, still that little boy from our portrait. Family portrait? Oh yes, in our room. Family portraits are a matter of tradition around here. Every year an entire family would get photographed in the photo room, and the effects and backgrounds of our choice would be added. It was wonderful. Some had little taste, but in our family it was something we spent a lot of time planning to get a perfect picture. But after the photo room equipment got broken down, we stopped doing it. Angus tried repairing it, but there's no way to manufacture the replacement parts, she sighs. I have to think about this in the meantime. That picture. Angus. Yes? You don't think all too highly of your son, do you? How can I, Mr. Outsider? How can I? My only son. My blood. The carrier of my genes. Yet he can't even learn how to use a simple tool bracer. I've tried teaching him, many other things too, but he always finds a way to screw it all up. Damn it all, the depths. He stares at his outstretched palms. These hands. With these I alone have maintained this station ever since my father died. May his spirit float freely. With these hands I've brought servants back to life to take care of our two families, saved us all from flooding and loss of electrical power on numerous occasions, and my son can't even maintain his own room. The only things these hands couldn't do was raise a man. Found this in the machine shop, or you know what, tool bracer. The tool bracer. It's a bracer-like machine that goes over the arm and holds and moves tools according to the user's wishes. Necessary for any kind of serious work. There are many bracers on this station, but I've only ever used my father's one. It's the only one I ever keep in the shop. I found this thing in the machine shop. My tool bracer. He smiles, then frowns, and that moron lost all the tools. Could you show me how it works? Some hesitation. Well, put it on like this. He takes the bracer and puts his arm through it, having the decorated transparent section facing up. Then he quickly presses on the root of his thumb with his fingers, which causes the straps to automatically tighten themselves around the forearm's anterior side. The strap lock still works. Good. How do you use it? It's all gesture-based. There's a sensor in the wrist that detects which detects even the most minute tendon movements. Pressing the root of your thumb activates and deactivates the gesture recognition, but you can program it to your liking. Checks the connector at the base of the device. Corroded. The tools inside are held by electromagnets, but you can move your hand to rotate them around your arm and have them inserted into your hand, all very smoothly, unless the magnetic focuser is going to depths. It also picks up tools and replaces them with new ones. Once you get the hang of it, you can work really fast. In the past, there were some expert engineers who could use two bracers at the same time, but their bloodlines died out, sadly. Their skills left untaught. Now try the tool bracer on. There are no tools in it. Just want to see how it feels. He reaches for his outer thigh, pushing his right hand against the suit and into an imperceptible pocket. From it, he pulls out some kind of metal rivet. As soon as he does, the pocket seals back into invisibility. He opens the tool bracer cover and puts the rivet right into the middle. The magnet snaps into place and closes the bracer. This'll do. Here. Put it on and press your root of the thumb with your fingers. Straps tighten around your forearm, slowing down a bit before locking, as if verifying its thickness. The end result feels rather comfortable. There. Let's say you need to use a Huss wrench, in this case, a size 8 jack rivet. It's on position 1. Move your hand up in line with the rivet. Move your hand up. The inside part of the bracer, a hollow cylinder to which tools are attracted by magnets, rotates so the rivet reaches the anterior side, ready to be picked up. There you go. Now what? Take it. Move your hand down, it'll drop into your hand. As soon as your hand gets in position, you hear a short buzzing sound. You feel the rivet being passed into your hand. Tilt your hand down and inward, as if giving the tool back to the bracer. The magnet quickly pulls the rivet from your hand, and the cylinder rotates it back to its original position. All this happens very fluidly and quickly. Great, see? You got the hang of it straight away. One more thing left to do. Some tools can be on the far ends of the bracer, and maybe you can't see them or need to access them more often. Let's rotate the whole cylinder. Tilt your hand up with the rivet, and while still keeping it up, rotate it left or right, wherever you want. The cylinder rotates and the rivet is now in the place you selected. Excellent. That's all there is to it. Basically, it's not exactly robot science. To anyone but the boy. He shakes his head in disappointment. Get the feeling you did this a bit too well. I think I got lucky. Let me try one more time. Don't see the point, but you're our guest after all. Okay, put it back on. Put it on and wait. Now press the root of your thumb with your fingers, just a quick one. Bend your hand backwards. Damn it to the depths. The root of your thumb, this thing, he points at it. How do I press on it? He grabs your fingers and manipulates them into doing what he told you. See? Like this. But basically, I think what we're doing here, if I recall, is trying to get the father to empathize that his, maybe his son isn't a complete failure. Irritated. So, let's, make a circle with your hand. Just up, no circling. Move your hand up. Move your whole arm up. This is a joke, isn't it? Not even the boy is this incompetent. No. You're fooling around. I can't do this unless you get serious, child. You may be our guest here, but by the depths, my patience has its limits. It's got limits. Okay, so you need to half-ass it, but not quite all the way. Okay, what do you mean move up? Go it up, tilt it up. Damn it, child. Tilt your hand up in the line with a damn rivet, then rotate left or right. Rotate. Left, right. By the depths, tilt your hand in line with a damn rivet, then rotate left or right. Rotate left or right. Oh, you get the feeling that he's on the verge of snapping. I want to try again. So... Damn it, he picks the rivet up and puts it up in your hand. No problem. Now go back to the bracer, tilt your hand inward and release it. Right, the steps. How hard can it be to follow simple instructions? Can't you see it through your thick skull, boy? I mean, child, Mr. Outside of uh... The Miracle Todd learned how to use the tool bracer with you around. What do you mean, learned? The boy's as useless as... His voice drops in pitch, and he, whoever he is right now, is staring at the tool bracer. I've been practicing when Father wasn't looking. His rumbly voice recovers, but it's a bit softer than earlier. I don't want him to be useless, but it's hard, damn it. Hard. Just like my father taught me before his. I know I had to teach my own boy everything I know, but he's so slow and... He stares at the tool bracer even more intently. But the tool bracer, he can use it. He clearly can. At least the boy can do something, right? Dig? Dig? Oh, wait, was that... I thought his name was slightly longer than that. Okay. How may I help you? Do you think the regimen you've put Todd on is really good for his psyche? His mental state is indeed delicate. Todd is suffering from a complex form of infantile regression, a condition in which a person regresses to an earlier stage of development, adapting childish mannerisms and behavior. It serves as a defense mechanism to protect the psyche from an unacceptable reality, in this case, his fertility problems. However, mind and body are interconnected. His problems, fundamentally, are physiological in nature, so treating these issues will inevitably reflect positively on his mental state. There's an old Lemurian saying, a healthy mind and a healthy body. Exercise will not only help him get fit, but will also help him reduce stress, and as exercise decreases tension, elevates mood, improves sleep and self-esteem. I have years and years of Todd's test results on my computer, which have led me to these conclusions. Tests? What kind of tests? The ones I keep on my computer in the doctor's office. They're various and numerous. Okay. I'll have to think about this in the meantime. Asta. Strange thing happens. Todd pauses. Todd, as he appears to have subtly fallen out of character, his mouth moving, but no words coming out. Then... Please speak to my husband. Shelley? Yes, Mr. Outsider? Okay, that was the family portrait. Can I talk to Senna? Fortunately, no. She can't speak to you. Or anyone else. Why not? She's resting. All of this concerning Todd is too heavy a burden for her. She's resting. Okay. So, I have to leave you now. We'll be here if you wish to speak with us. With pleasure. Farewell. So we need to find a family portrait and this computer? Not that computer, but... Okay. Fair enough, we weren't actually done, we just naturally flowed that way. Uh-huh. Not gonna mess with that. Take those. And those. Ooh. Well. Not as big of a deal for us at this point, but it's still kinda nice to see all of that in one place. We will take the shield emitters, though. Go ahead and open that path. Oh, nice. Another medication synthesis unit. What can we get? So, I'll grab some third eye. I don't remember what this does. And then adrenaline shot. Increases detection by 30 and perception by... oh. Only for... well, actually, for finding stuff, that's still really good. For 15 turns. So that's actually not a bad idea to have on hand. Research and development done. Bring your hand close to it. Authenticating Welcome P Bridges. Authorizing. Authorization failed. Outdated implant security module version. Please report to the medical office in either residential dens for necessary implant updates or replacement. Atlantean Health Report. A detailed health report on the sub-islander population transferred from Atlantis to Lemuria. It clearly promotes their suitability for life in compact, isolated environments, like Abyssal Station Zero, worth 2 points of experience. Welcome P. Bridges. Medical records. Newman Todd. Personal information. Major allergies: aspirin, dust, and nickel. Hormone test results. So he's got somewhat average most things. Free testosterone is low. Testosterone just barely within the reference range. Notes. Medication synthesis unit reminder. That should be the information that we'll need for Mr. Oylander. Most of the dishes are moldy and appears though they haven't been touched in a long time. There's some disgusting puke green mass in the sink as well. Yum. Oh, there we are. Family is tagged as Angus, Shelley, and Todd Newman as they are standing in a meadow of crimson grass moving in the wind. The father of the family is a bald, stubby man wearing an engineering suit and an ill-tempered expression on his ill-set face. The mother is a thin woman with deep green eyes embedded in a pale, featureless face. She's wearing a pristine white suit with many colored ornaments. Between them is Todd, a young, skinny, thin-haired, pale boy trying to find a suitable smile for the camera. Okay, so that should be what we need for both of those. But, given that we still have a bit to go, and the fact that it is getting on I'm going to call it here, and we will pick up and, I guess, wrap up, presumably, Abyssal Station Zero next time. Thanks for watching. Uh, Hope you enjoyed. Take it easy. Have a wonderful evening. And I will see you next time on Underrail.